4 times cause the man can't control her. 1 time for the men doing kind things. Dead friend to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that okay. 4 times cause the man can't control her. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had the slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real man talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you peep these grays. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing kind things. Dead friends to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control her. 1 time for the men doing kind things. Dead friends to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control her. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing kind things. Mono. Living super clean. Daddy came up. 1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop. I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never came. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of in the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. BS help me, shout it, let the silly go. 1 time for the men doing kind things. Dead friends to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control her. 1 time for the men doing kind things. Dead friends to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up. 4 times cause the man can't control her.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord, saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Happy Thursday to everyone. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this evening. I'm so happy to see you all. Kina, I hope I'm saying your name right. Please forgive me. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for checking us out. Larnice, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you for checking us out and hanging out with us. Let me introduce myself, please, just in case you guys are like, who's this lady on my screen? I go by Miss Mono's World of These Content Creator Streets. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the places the content creators be. Oh, Snapchat. I'll be forgetting about the Snapchat, but I'm on Snapchat too. So yeah, follow, subscribe, whatever it is on your respective social media channels. If you are not at the YouTube, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOGMAGAD. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications when you get there. Once you get there, leave me a comment. If you're listening live, comment live. If you're listening on a replay, comment replay. Yes, I am comment farming. Why? Because the content show YouTube that you guys are interested in what I have to offer. So please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's see what else. I think that's it as far as it. What's wrong? My sound went back out. Let me see. Hold on. What I have to offer. I hear me. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. All right. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, okay. I think Nope, I can hear me. Okay. All right. My bad, you guys. Just checking on the audio. It's all in love. It's all in love. Oh, listen here. Let me tell y'all something. Angelina is my A1 day one, okay? She has been rocking with us since we started a few years ago. And it was like me, my husband, I think Will was on here with us. So thank you so much. What? Yes, she been here from the beginning. Yes. Okay, they can hear me. Okay, yeah, our audio is good. Okay, praise be. So thank you so much to my sister Angelina. That's my boo right there. I mean, like consistently for years at this point. Never no issues, never no arguments or nothing. So that's a real one right there. All right. I have a few things I want to talk to y'all about today. So yes, I do have a main topic, but gonna chop up the show and talk about a few different things, okay? First thing I want to talk to y'all about, I don't know if you guys have heard about this singer that goes by the name David, okay? But it's spelled D4VD. Can you give me some tissue or something, please? I'm sorry, y'all. The basement allergies are kicking in, and I'm not taking any Zyrtec today. Okay, so the singer's name is he goes by David, right? You pronounce it David, but it's spelled D4VD. Okay. And now I'm talking to my 23-year-old about this, and I'm like, y'all don't think that's weird? Back in my day, you couldn't have called yourself D4VD and we just let that ride. Like, you out here advertising for venereal disease and you think nobody's gonna say anything about it. Okay, so anyway, this is his name, okay? D4VD. A few weeks ago, there was a 14-year-old girl found in the trunk of a Tesla that had been abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. Okay. The owner of the property where the car was abandoned called the police because of the smell that was coming from the car. Thank you so much, babe. Called the police because of the smell that was coming from the car. They came and towed the car, get the car to the impound lot. Smell is horrible. They open the car. There's a decomposing body in the trunk. And they believe it belongs to a young girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez, I believe is her name. And so now there's a whole lot of controversy around this situation because at first they were like, oh, the car is just registered to the singer. He has no ties. But as of like yesterday, I was listening to Ashley Banfield. And so he's actually gotten lawyers. There are people that are coming out testifying that he was, in fact, in a relationship with this girl that started when the girl was 11 and he was 17. It's just getting really complicated. It's, the family, they're looking a little sketchy in this situation. I'm just, and then what baffles me on top of it is the fact that he wrote song. Okay, he has a song. I have not went and listened to the song, but of course it's like the main thing they keep talking about is the fact that he has a song where he describes unaliving a person and putting them in the trunk of his car. And when people were asking him about the song, he's like, oh, this is about, dying to your old self and killing off your bad habits. I would never kill a person. And meantime, this girl is. So it's really crazy out there. Y'all watch your kids because they met on Discord. That's the tea. They met on Discord when she was 11. He was 17. He was an up and coming artist. And this is where they met. Now, my kids are online, but my two younger ones, I monitor their phone. I'm on there checking, who is this? What's that? Why is this? Why is that? I know all their friends parents. Their friends' parents know me. We talk. No, you have to. But our parents only have to worry about protecting us from the dangers outside, right? Back in the 90s, you had to go outside to get in trouble. You're sitting in the house, nothing in the house to get in trouble. These days, the trouble is coming into your home via the internet, via these cell phones, websites, chat rooms, whatever. So please, please, please monitor what your kids are doing online. it is very sad. They're saying that because of the timeline and the decomposition of her body, they believe that she was already dead on her birthday. Like she turned 15 the day after the police found the body. So yeah, it's really like gloomy all around. I don't even like talking about stuff like this, but please, please, please watch your kids when they're online. Please know who they're talking to. Know who they're talking to. Okay, this next one, y'all. All right. So yesterday, we did every Wednesday my Bible study group chat meets. By the way, every Wednesday, FaceTime, 8 o'clock. Shout out to those ladies because our group chats be spicy. It'll be spicy. So we talked about the widow of Zarephath. I hope I'm saying that right, but just to remind you guys of the story, the 1 Kings 4, I believe it is. The prophet Elisha is coming through. There's a widow there, and Elisha asked her to make him a cake, and she's like, "Look, I only have enough to feed me and my son, and then we're gonna die." And Elisha's like, "Nope, you're not gonna die. Just give me some cake and watch the Lord provide." So she makes the cake, and she ends up with more than enough, right? And I had to be honest with my Bible study group chat because this story triggers me. Okay. And the story triggers me because growing up in Black church, I heard this story told a lot as a means to get poor, struggling single mothers to give money that they barely had. This story always came up at offering time. Remember the lady who only had enough for her and her son, and she fed the man of God. She fed the man of God, and God provided more than enough. And now let me just say this before I continue, okay? I'm not saying not to give. I'm not saying not to give, but what I am saying is this day and time of grifters that we live in. You have to be more careful about who you give to. What do you mean, Miss Mono? Where is this coming from? Okay. I'm sure you all are familiar with Dr. Umar. I don't know how you couldn't be, like, unless you've been under a rock for the past 10 or plus years. You've heard of Dr. Umar. He's supposed to be this psychologist who's on the forefront of behavioral disorders in Black boys, and he's telling all these Black mothers, call me, I'll help you. If the school is giving you a hard time with your Black son, trying to label him autistic, I'll help you, and we can advocate, da 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 da, right? And so this whole time he's been asking for money. He's been asking people for money. Oh, of course you can join the Bible study group chat. Angie, add her to the group chat, please, or just send me her number and I'll add her to the group chat. So he's supposed to have been opening this school, right? The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy for Boys, because that's been one of his claims to fame, that he is a direct descendant of Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey. I think he said both. I know it was one of them. Okay. So all this time has went by, and it turns out that over time he has collected, I believe the report was like $2 million plus from the Black community. Okay, these are Black people sending them this money. These are Black women who are looking for help educating their sons and believing that this man is going to open this school that is going to help them get the care that they need for their children without having to worry about all the racial barriers and the bias and the stereotypes that they would have to fight in a traditional public education setting, right? Okay. Well, come to find out, it's all been a sham. It's all been a sham. People are now driving up to the school and showing that's in a state of disrepair. Not only that, the state of Delaware, where he was supposed to be opening the school, has repossessed the school, and I think they auctioned it off and sold it to someone else because he wasn't paying like for the permits and the liens and stuff. So the state took the school from him and auctioned it off to someone else. Okay. And so it's people like this. Okay. It's the Dr. Umars. it's the brother polites of the world. And even before them, okay, I remember being in church. Stacy Phillips, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me, sis. I remember in particular, we were attending New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. It's back in the early 2000s before everything fell apart. And there was a person who came in claiming to be, over some kind of financial services, and he could help Black people grow generational wealth, right? Like that's the buzzword for Black people, generational wealth. Ooh. So he could help them build generational wealth and all this stuff, and come to find out he was scamming people. Okay. So these kind of grifters have been a part of every community. I'm not just going to say it's a Black people thing. No, they're a part of every community. Okay. And so I just want to bring this up, especially in this day and time that we live in, when everyone is participating in what economists refer to as rent-seeking behavior. Rent-seeking behavior is when you don't want to produce anything. You just want to collect like passive income from people, right? So rent-seeking behavior is how they make us sign up for subscription services now instead of just letting us own the thing. Like with HBO Max. You know what I'm saying? Like just to keep it simple. Okay, music. Okay. I remember I remember when Kanye, who was that? This is way back, okay? But Kanye West and somebody else was releasing the album on the same day. Was it 50 Cent? Kanye West and somebody else was releasing an album on the same day. And I remember being in line at Best Buy early because there was no streaming. It was nothing like that. Like you had to either have the CD or the tape, or, well, we wasn't doing tapes back then, but like you had to have a CD. You couldn't just go pick up your phone and listen to the one or two songs that you liked over and over again. You had to buy the whole CD at one time, right? Okay, so this is producing a product and having someone pay for your product. But what they're doing now with the subscription service, where I'm paying almost $20 a month now to be able to access this music, that is rent-seeking behavior because you're not necessarily producing anything new. You're just allowing me to access something that already exists, okay? And so we have a lot of people out here who don't want to produce anything new. They just want to take money from what already exists in our money pool, if you understand what I'm saying. So I just want to implore you guys, please, please, please exercise your discernment. Okay. That's why, listen, yes, we ask for donations, but I also wrote a book and I also do content, and we also own businesses, and we also, you understand what I'm saying? So just be leery, use your discernment, be careful about who you're giving your money to, because there are some people who are in shambles right now because they've given Dr. Umar so much money. Or actually I was just watching a video on Polite when I was getting ready, oddly enough. And they're in shambles because they gave him so much money, and they can't get their money back. So please, please, please be careful, you guys, okay? Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. All right. I have a development for you guys, but I can't talk about it till next week. But let me just a little sidebar, okay? Because I saw something very sad today. I don't know how many of you all know about Nasaya TV, but I talk to y'all just about every week. I come on here and I tell y'all, subscribe to Nasaya TV, subscribe to Nasaya TV. And unfortunately, okay. Unfortunately, the brother Nasai is like getting discouraged, and this isn't the first time. And look, I get it, because it's hard doing something. It's hard to do something for a group of people who say we need, and then when you provide, they don't want to support you because it's not them. It's not them, or it's not one of their buddies supplying a service. So they'll continue to go without and just keep saying we need. And it's hard because you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't snap at the people, because then the people will think you crazy. But the next time somebody come in your face talking about we need, you want to slap them because it's like, well, I've been doing this over here for years and nobody's paid attention, nobody's donated, nobody's supported, nobody's done anything. So please, y'all, look, if you have an idea, start your idea. There are more than enough people in need of a voice that your voice can be significant amongst your community as well. You're never going to get all the people. And that's something I had to realize doing the show and producing content and stuff like that. Everybody's not going to like me. That's just reality. Okay? Everybody doesn't like chocolate ice cream, despite the fact that, we just try to act like chocolate ice cream is just the best ice cream. Everybody don't like it. You understand what I'm saying? So your content is never going to be for everybody. But the people who it's for will be drawn to it. Okay? What did Yahushua say? If I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. So if you lift up your light, people will be drawn. The people who are supposed to be drawn to your light will be drawn to your light. Okay? I don't like bright white light. I don't. You ask my husband. Like, we get into it all the time because I hate when I walk in the bathroom and he has the bright lights on. I like soft yellow light. Okay? So listen, your light may be a nice blue hue. So the people that like blue lights are going to come to your light. If your light is yellow, the people who are assigned to you will come to you. Okay? But what we can't keep doing is we can't keep complaining about what we don't have in our community and then not getting up and doing it yourself and hating, complaining, and not supporting when someone else does. Okay? Tamara, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you so much for joining us. It's really sad. It's really sad. It made me realize that I need to change my audience. Like, and this is to y'all out there too. Don't be so hell bent on trying to get people who just are not interested in what you have to say to listen to you. If they not vibing with you, change your approach, widen your net, and find the people who do vibe with you. But don't keep beating your head up against a concrete wall. I promise you, if you feel led, then move on it. And the people who are assigned to follow you, the people who are going to be attracted to your voice, those people will come, okay? So please, if you're working on something, you got a project, you got an idea, do not give up. Do not give up, all right? You were inspired for a reason, okay? Somebody out there needs you. Somebody out there is waiting for you to inspire them. You just have to get through the muck and the mire to find your happy place, all right? So if you have not downloaded the Messiah TV app, please head over, on your smart TV, your Fire Stick, and your Roku, whatever's. Go ahead and download the Messiah TV app, okay? All right. All right, so on to our main topic. My MacBook, I have not figured out how to stop my MacBook from shutting down in this little bit amount of time. Like, I want a new one, but I'm trying to get used to the old one. Okay, here we go. All right, cool. All right, so I don't know if you guys remember, I don't even remember how long ago it was, right? But a while ago, we had to talk about music and how it influences us, right? And back then I talked to you guys about a part of your brain called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons, okay? Even when the enemy takes down YouTube pages, we still don't go, still won't. And that's really sad. We have to start supporting our own. YouTube is the world understands that YouTube is shutting down. They know that. They're building their own. I listen to a few different YouTube podcasters who either have their own networks, starting their own networks because they're tired of the censorship and it's only going to get worse. So please, again, download the Messiah TV app. A lot of great content on there, a lot of great classes, and just some great family movies, stuff like that. Go to these YouTube channels, like, share, subscribe. Listen, you ain't gotta be a faithful listener, but like, share, subscribe. Go on and leave a comment every now and then. 30 seconds counts as a view. Okay, so give him 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like it, you ain't gotta keep going, but at least support the people who you see trying to be truthful and trying to spread righteous content. Okay, all right, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so yeah, we talked about mirror neurons before, right? And so this week, well, before this week, but I've been working on something, and I was looking up stuff for something else I was writing, and mirror neurons came up again, right? And I was like, oh, what's up with these mirror neurons? Okay. And y'all know I will nerd out. So I'm gonna try not to nerd out too much, but flow with me here. Okay. And so it turns out, right, that these mirror neurons, what they do is they pick up information from images that you receive, sounds that you hear, and they cause your brain to start to reenact that action. What do I mean by that? Okay. You're walking in the mall, right? You're walking in the mall, you see somebody wave at you. Now, I don't know about y'all, but my natural instinct is to wave back, even if I don't know who it is, right? If I think that they're waving at me, I'm going to wave back. Even if I'm confused, I'm like, hey. And then you turn around and see somebody else that they obviously are waving to, right? And then you're like, ooh, so embarrassed. Okay. That is because you have seen this action so many times. You have seen people wave at you, and you were taught to wave back, right? So when your brain sees someone waving, it automatically, well, not automatically. Let me explain the process. Okay, you see someone waving. Of course, the vision has to go through your eyes. Your brain processes, okay, this is somebody waving. Now there's another part of your brain that processes, what do we do when we see somebody waving? Oh yeah, that's right, we wave back. Okay, so it becomes an automatic thing, right? When you just like it works for somebody waving, which can be a neutral thing because nobody gets hurt if you wave extra, right? This works also on good and bad behaviors, okay? Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here. Comment your favorite color for me. It's Thursday. It's almost Friday. I know you guys are excited. You got plans this weekend? Let me know. Club, beach, skating. Well, probably no beach because it's still hot enough down here, right? Let me know what y'all doing this weekend in the comments. Okay, so this works no matter what. No matter what you're looking at. This effect happens. You cannot stop your brain from picking up on the emotion of whatever you are looking at, okay? This is why I cannot deal with horror. I can't deal with like horror movies. I can't. The fear overtakes me. This okay, so this is a trick that advertisers are, and I don't want to call it a trick because it's really neuroscience, right? And what I love when science confirms the word of God. I'm telling y'all, that is my jam. When I find science, especially when it comes to the human body that confirms the word of God, my jam. So we're going to make the connection. I just want to explain the natural side of this thing first, okay? And so your mirror neurons pick up on the emotion of whatever is going on around you, right? So think of a baby. When you smile at a baby, the baby is smiling back. The baby doesn't know what the smile means. It just is, its brain is picking up, okay, this person is smiling at me. Let me smile back. This is what your mirror neurons teach you, how to echo what is going on around you. This is how you learn social norms, okay? This is why you don't bust up in the church and scream, "Party's here!" You know what I'm saying? It's why you're not in a funeral tap dancing on stage. You've learned social norms. Your brain has told you, okay, this is what we have seen done in this situation, so this is what we're going to do as well. Okay. Not only that, have you ever been watching a movie and started crying? Or even reading a book and started crying? Are you sitting there laughing? Are you I was an avid reader before responsibilities. But even, you know what I'm saying? Even now, if I get to sit down with a good book or something and I'm really into it, like I really get into it. I get into the character. I'm just really into it. That's because when you are intaking activity from other humans, whether real or imagined, your brain mirrors the emotion that is implied during that activity. Okay. Advertisers use this to convince us that their product will bring us said feeling. All right. You ever seen a Nike commercial? Right. It's always somebody running, they're energetic, it's sunny, or it's sexy, or it's something to uplift the athletic consciousness, if you will, right? It makes you want to exercise because as you're watching this Nike commercial and you seeing the lady, she's running and she's cute and, you know, she's young and she's beautiful and it's hot outside and everything is lovely. And they keep showing you the Nike shirt and the Nike leggings and the Nike shorts. And it's meant to make you think, if I could just get myself in some Nikes, I can enjoy these feelings too. Right? I mean, I could go on and on about this, but no, let me keep going on because I want y'all to understand what I'm saying, okay? And so like I get a lot of flack from my family sometimes, right? Because I love, like, if I have to pick a sneaker, I'm gonna pick a Nike sneaker. If I have to blind pick a sneaker, I'm gonna pick a Nike. Why? Not because of their advertising, right? It's not because I have seen so many Nike commercials. King 7, Shalom and Shalom, thank you for joining me. You were just crying at a TV show today. What TV show? I hope it was a good one. It's not because I've seen so many Nike commercials and now I'm just convinced that, ooh, Nikes are the best thing ever. No, it's because every time I have put a pair of Nikes on my foot, they have always offered great arch support. Okay. This is my thing. But you can't blame people for thinking like, oh, you're just following for the commercials, because that's what they're designed to do. All right. So let's take a look at our music industry and how these brand names and these products are being pushed to us, right? Lambo this, Gucci that, Dior. You know what I'm saying? Like, these brands are pushed to us constantly. And let's think about, even before this, the image that these brands have established, okay? And we're going to take my favorite brand right now, Ralph Lauren. All right, let's take Ralph Lauren. All right, sorry y'all, basement allergies. Let's take Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren, clean, classy, preppy, fresh, right? This is what you come to associate with this brand. Upper class, old money. You understand what I'm saying? So the brand has already been established as something aspirational, right? All the people that you want to be like wear this. That's pretty much the message, okay? So you take that already, right? And now you take these rappers. We're going to focus on rappers because that's who our kids are listening to these days, all right? You take these rappers and the message that they're pushing, which is not clean, not fresh. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Okay. You take these messages filled with violence and just abuse in general, and you mix it with the imagery from an already established brand. And now you have a mixture of images. that can be confusing to a young child who is taking this information in. Okay? What do I mean by that? If I am watching okay. Do y'all remember when Different World was on? I don't know if y'all old enough to remember that. I'm old enough to remember when Different World was on. And they attribute a whole generation of Black people going to college, in particular HBCUs, because of the influence of A Different World. When you watched A Different World, that's what you saw. Black kids in college, but everything was positive. It wasn't nobody getting shot up. It wasn't nothing like that. It was cool. Nothing like Boys in the Hood, Men's Society, nothing like that, right? And so you had these young people watching these Black kids going to school, which inspired them to go to school because they wanted to be like those Black kids, right? And so you had Dwayne Wayne with the Dwayne Wayne glasses, right? And however they were dressing at that time became preppy Black kid uniform. Especially Whitley Gilbert. I love Whitley Gilbert. That was who I related to, okay? I love me some Whitley. So now every Southern Black preppy girl wants to be like Whitley Gilbert. You still have this to this day, right? Okay. So because that was put in that educational positive setting, these things are now associated with these educated positive people. That's what you want. That's what you want your young kid to want to do. If I'm putting these products, however, in an undesirable location and I'm preaching to you, because that's all rapping is. Rapping is just preaching. It's words. They're telling you a story. They're lending you a message, okay? If I put these desirable products in this undesirable location and in these undesirable conditions, I'm telling these young children now that these undesirable behaviors, places, and things will now get you this desirable product. Why do you think there's always stacks of money in the videos? Why is everything always so blingy and shiny? Because, and listen, I am a firm believer that the enemy of our soul is at the head of the music industry in this country. Like I just can't, there's no other way to explain the perpetuation of negative rap music in our community other than obviously somebody is out to get us. Because there's no way you constantly feed a people the messages that they have been feeding us if you are not seeking to destroy them, okay? And so in order for me to get you to chase this message, I have to put these images in this message to make you think that it's possible that you could end up this way, right? I'm thinking of movies like State Property, New Jack City, South Central, movies where they have the really big drug dealer and you watch his whole arc, right? You watch him start off small and then Paid in Full. You watch him start off small, then he gets big, he starts making a lot of money, and then somehow there's some kind of downfall, right? So we see that in our movies, okay? And as you're watching the movie, the mirror neurons in your brain are to make it plain, they're like imagining you in this situation. Okay? What do I mean by that? Your Georgia boy of a husband got you rocking with Ralph. Sir, I knew about Ralph before we got together, but okay. Okay. All right. Dang, what was I about to say? You made me forget what your oh, okay. Case in point. You ever been around somebody and every time you get around them, you get vexed? Like every time you get around them, you just don't feel good. But the thing that you notice, okay, say it's the girl you go pick up before you go to work every day. And every day you pick her up, she get in your car and she got an attitude. And now you was fine. You started your day, you got in the car, you was playing your music or whatever. You was probably even praying or whatever. right? She get in the car, she start talking, and by the time you get to work, your attitude sucks. You're just heavy burden. You don't know why. You're like, where's this coming from? I was fine a minute ago. You ready to snap on people and you can't figure out why. It's those same mirror neurons, okay? And there's a lot that is unexplained. I'm not a neuroscientist, okay? So I don't claim to know everything, but um a lot of what's not understood about how our brain works is just attributed to our brain chemistry and things like that. I believe some of those things are just spiritual things that science doesn't have an answer to, okay? But it is attributed to these same mirror neurons. The attributes of, you know how people say like spirits are contagious? That is attributed to your mirror neurons, right? Same way, like if you're around somebody and they laughing all the time and they just kikiing and having a good time, you start laughing and kikiing and having a good time too, because your brain is remembering how you feel when you laugh, how you feel when you're having a good time. Just like if you're around someone that's sad, you're gonna feel sad. The mirror, this effect from these neurons, is what gives you empathy for others. It's what allows you to feel for others, because it allows you to reenact the same emotion. Okay, say I came to you and like my dog died, right? If you had a dog that died before, you're gonna feel that more than someone who hasn't, because their brain does not know what this feels like. Okay. My brain remembers what it felt like when we lost Pepper. So when you come to me and tell me you lost your dog, I might even sit and cry with you, because I remember like that, you know what I'm saying? My whole family was ate up about losing Pepper. So I will remember that. I will probably cry with you. My brain is recalling what happened when we felt that, okay? But someone who has not experienced that may not feel it the same way, because their brain has nothing to rehearse. But their brain is watching you be sad, and they can recall times of sadness, okay? So I may not know what it's like to lose my dog, but I know how it feels to feel sad. So I'm going to be nice, be empathetic, be sympathetic, okay? This is the part of our brain that controls that. So of course my next question was, well, what's up with the sociopaths? Like, why they brain don't work like that? So that is attributed to an imbalance in our brain chemistry, okay? Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, because Brianta, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you so much for joining me. Like Satan offered Jesus the world and all the vanity that comes with it. Girl. Perfect example. Took him up to the mountaintop and was like, I'll give you everything. I'll give you the world. You understand? Perfect example. Awesome. Thank you, sis. And so I'm bringing this to you because a lot of us are caught up in looking for answers, but we're not willing to change what we are intaking, and therefore what we are putting out. What do I mean by that? All right. So my family and even some of my in-laws, like whenever we get together and have dinner, we always somehow come upon the conversation of lactose intolerance, especially if there's like macaroni and cheese or something being served, because we all have varying degrees of lactose intolerance. I can eat, like, I can have a day. I can have some mac and cheese, I can have some ice cream, and I could be straight. But if I try to repeat that another day, it's probably going to be a problem, okay? So we all have varying different degrees of it, right? But you understand that with whatever amount of lactose you intake, it's going to hurt you to some degree, okay? And so after a few episodes of attacks, you learn, okay, let me stop messing with this, because I do not like what it produces in my life. I do not like the effects of having too much ice cream, so I'm going to stop doing that, right? A person who has a problem with alcohol does not have the ability to say, I don't like what this is producing in my life. Let me stop ingesting it. Same thing with people with substance abuse issues, crackheads. They don't have the wherewithal to look around and see that this crack is messing up their life. They need to stop taking it. So they just keep taking it in. We don't like our attitudes. The people around us keep complaining about our attitude. We wish we had more joy. We wish we had more peace, but we won't change what we're taking in. And we won't consider that what we're taking in now is helping us to produce the life that we do not want. What do I mean by that? If the music that you are listening to every day is calling you a bitch and calling you a hoe and describing all these sex acts, why do you feel like your thoughts would be anything other than being a dog, being a hoe, and trying to commit sex acts? That's all you're ingesting. This is all you are giving your brain to repeat. Your brain is a computer. What you put in is what comes out. I'm sitting in front of a camera right now. So what you are seeing is the image that is being directed into the camera. What you are seeing. What you are seeing in your life is an inflection of what your eye is seeing, what your ears are hearing. Okay? This is why you cry at All of Us. And I had to stop watching All of Us, okay? Because it was too much. I can't be doing all that crying. You can't keep playing with my emotions like that, okay? Because then I'll be sad for a long time. So I tried to watch All of Us. I had to like break it up in parts, and then I just had to stop because there was too much crying. Right. But again, this is what you're giving your brain to rehearse. And I'm not saying it's not okay in bits and pieces, okay? Like, I'm not even saying, listen, when me and my husband go on date night, we is not listening to gospel music. We not listening to no truth music. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's date night. It's date night vibes, date night music going on, okay? But this is not the resounding sound in my life. And also, this is not a sound that would tempt me to sin, okay? Let me be clear. Some of y'all can't listen to twerk music because it makes you want to go out and twerk, and you know this. So until you find you a man that's your husband and you can twerk on him, then we don't need to know if Cardi B is the drama. You don't need to know that if you understand that this is going to tempt you to sin. And here's the problem. We don't want to all work on our own salvation. We don't. If we did, there would not be so many Facebook posts, arguments, and debates about things that have nothing to do with your salvation. We are sitting up here arguing about things that the Most High the Most High would tell you whoop-de-doo about that. But you want to sit here on Facebook and TikTok and argue with people for what? For what? And see, here's the problem with rage bait, right? And I've been tempted to post rage bait. Yeah, of course, because it looks good. It's like, dang, you post this rage bait and all of a sudden you got all these followers, all these comments. Yes, it can be enticing, right? But I'm not willing to disturb someone else's spirit for a couple of likes and a couple of comments, because I'm responsible for every idle word that comes out my mouth or that is typed by my fingers. And so how do I feel if I've set someone off and now they went out and hurt someone because, Well, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, but it is. If we are all saying that we are all part of the body of Christ, when we are all brothers and sisters in Christ, and it is your job to carry my burden, it's my job to carry your burden, then it is. Then it is. If we're all connected, it is my fault. Because I'm the one that gave the energy a place to disperse from, right? They tell you like energy cannot be destroyed. It's just spread from one place to another. And so it was there, that little voice that you hear telling you to do the thing that you're not supposed to do. Okay, so in this case, post the rage bait, who cares? Tell them that I'm trying to think of something silly, like I don't know. Tell them that wearing their hair, tell them that parting their hair in the middle is a sin now. Okay. Y'all going to hell if you part your hair in the middle. Okay, this is my rage bait. I'm going to put it out there. And it's this one sister listening, and she's just had a horrible day, and she's just looking for something to help her calm down. And then she scrolls upon my video where I'm talking some foolishness. And now I've messed up her day. Okay. All right. But what I was saying about working out your own salvation, if we were trying to work at our own salvation really with fear and trembling, we would do the things that we know pertain to our salvation and not care what anyone else has to say about it. Like if you believe that a popular example, I'm not saying yes or no here, I'm just laying it out there because it's a popular topic in this community for some reason. Y'all love to talk about polygyny, okay? And I understand some people do it for rage bait, which I still feel like is irresponsible. But someone posted today, like, if y'all so cool with polygyny, why do you need us to care? Like, why do you need people to consent to what you consider crucial to your salvation if you're so convinced that the Most High considers this crucial to your salvation? You understand what I'm saying? Listen, if I feel convinced to get up every day at 4:00 and pray, I'm convinced every day to get up at 4:00 and pray. I don't care who else is up at 4:00 praying. I don't care. You can come or you cannot come. I'm not going to tell you that you're less righteous than I am because you get up and pray at 6 instead of 4. Because that's not true. I'm not about to put this unnecessary burden on you to make me feel better about the life that I live. It shouldn't matter how many other people are doing it. If you feel like this is what the Most High has called you to, then you do that. Okay? And I don't even know how I got there, but okay. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. So the mirror neuron thing really catches me. Again, because it is literally a repeat of cycles of life, right? This, like I said, with our digestion, what you let in is what comes out, but even more so from the people that you are around. The Bible talks about sitting in the council of the godly and not in the seat of the scornful, not running with sinners, not conversing with fools, because you pick up people's behavior, right? And so let's get to the part where science confirms what the Bible says. You pick up the behaviors of people around you. It's not just about it is about avoiding the consequences short term, and also long term though it's about the kind of person that you are, right? Because not everything that is wrong or distasteful is not necessarily illegal, right? What do I mean by like not wrong but distasteful? Okay. There are some people that just have like attitudes. And I don't know why the people around them just let them have the attitude. Like they just don't bother to correct them or I don't get it. And they try to explain it to everybody like, "Oh, she not mean, she just this," or "She not this, she just that," and blah 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 blah. Um it's not necessarily wrong But who wants to deal with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to be around that? And so the more you hang around this person, you may be like, well, they're not committing any sins. I mean, she go to Sabbath class, she dressed modest, she this, she that, she not doing anything wrong. She not out here running the street. But so your attitude will start to adjust to this person's that you're hanging around. This is why people are always telling you can't, it's easier for someone to pull you down than it is for you to pull them up. The person, okay. If you got your job, you got your car, you got your place or living with your parents, whatever, you doing your thing, your life is together. Like somebody would look at you and be like, yeah, that young lady has her stuff together. Okay. You go out here and decide to pick up some bodega bum who anybody would look at and say he's a hot mess. Now, it is easier for you to rehearse the acts of a bum because at one time you lived that life of leisure. What do I mean by that? Like you were little, you had parents who did everything for you. You didn't have to go to the store for yourself. Your parents did. You didn't have to get up and work. Your parents did. You didn't have to worry about providing. Your parents did. You have already rehearsed the role of a bum in your childhood. If you understand what I'm saying, I'm not calling y'all bums. But I'm saying you know what it is to be lazy, irresponsible, have people doing stuff. You already know this, right? Okay. The bodega bum does not know what it is to elevate his life. He doesn't know what it's like to go to school. He doesn't know what it's like to get up and go to work every day. He doesn't have a degree. He doesn't have a diploma. He doesn't have a trade. He has no idea what it is to answer to anyone. He don't even know how to freaking get on the bus and get to shop right and get what he needs. Okay. He does not have the life management skills that you have had time to practice, rehearse, and learn. That is why it is easier for someone to pull you down than it is for you to pull them up. Okay. Your mama calls you in the kitchen. And now if you've been cooking with your mama for a while, when she tell you make some spaghetti, no problem. I can make this spaghetti. I've done it before. But if she come in there and ask you to make her a sweet potato pie, and this is something that you're not comfortable with, I need help. What am I going to do? Tell me each step. Tell me every direction. Because this is something that you do not know. If she's not there to help you, then you're cooked. Okay. And so here's another thing. We are more likely to mimic the behavior of people that we like or that we aspire to. This is why all these Real Housewives keep getting caught up in all these fraud allegations, because they're out here trying to front that they are someone that we should aspire to. Okay. Okay, let's take Cardi B, for example. Let's take Cardi B, for example. And I'm not saying this to pick on any one person. You could put any black female celebrity in her place, okay? Meg Thee Stallion, Portia Williams, whoever else y'all out here talking about on or whatever. Okay, let's talk about Portia. I'm tired of talking about Cardi, even though that's messed up too, right? You'll look at women who are in bad situations because of their own doing and who are living lives that honestly none of us want to live. You got a woman who's still legally married and is out here pregnant by her boyfriend. Then you got another one who ran out here, married somebody in 5 minutes. Now he's been deported by ICE. And she's sitting up here trying to fake in front and keep a mansion that she can't afford and everything else. And instead of the collective message from the community being, girl, sit down somewhere, like you probably need to get some help, the people are cheering and clapping and encouraging this behavior. Why? when you know good and well that if it was Keisha down the block or if it was your cousin doing the same, if it was your cousin that was married to Ralph that work at AutoZone and then turned around and got pregnant by Khalif that work at Taco Bell, you be calling her all kind of dirty, broke, nasty, trifling, lazy. How could you? That's crazy. Why would you? But because it's Cardi B, Dominican rapping Barbie, because the behavior is coming from a person that has been sculpted and dressed to be something that you would consider aspirational, now all of a sudden this behavior is made to look attractive. Like, oh, well, if she can do it, I can do it too. Why? Because you believe that that behavior will somehow lead you to this lifestyle that you aspire to. And I know you might be like, but how would that work? You know, Cardi B was married and da 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 da. Listen to her music. What kind of life was she living before she got married? Y'all need to stop thinking that just because a woman is married, all of a sudden that all of her whole days are gone. Every woman that gets married is not ready to be a wife. They just want to say they married. They just want to have a wedding. They just want to be able to. If I put, okay, so there's this prank that they used to do, right? Where they would take dog do, put it in a bag, put it on somebody's front step, light the bag on fire, right? If I put some dog do in a Louis Vuitton bag and set it on some of y'all front doorsteps, y'all would take that bag, wash it out, clean it to the best of your ability, and keep it because it was a Louis Vuitton bag. It doesn't matter what it had in it, it was a Louis Vuitton bag. But if I came to y'all with a bag from freaking Target with the poop in it, you throw the thing away. I don't even want that. You could very well be in need of a bag. I don't want that. I don't want that. You cannot control how your brain works. You can't. If you could, you wouldn't have some of the quirks that you have, okay? I have an issue about my bath towels, right? I can only use them for like a day, maybe two. Because if I go to get in the shower and I pick up my towel and it feels wet or damp, you know how like it doesn't air dry all the way? That's gross. I can't use that no more. Okay. Now, some people might be like, girl, you better freaking use that towel. It's still clean. If I could control the part of my brain that switches when that happens, then maybe I would. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot control your mirror neurons. You can't stop your brain from doing something that it was programmed to do to help you survive. What do I mean by that? Let's go back to that baby that is smiling back at you. That is creating like an echo chamber in your brain so that you hold on to these behaviors and you can follow what we call social cues. Okay. For example, a social cue. If you're in the grocery store, right? And I hate when people do this to me all the time. It's like you gotta be dense. Like if you're in a grocery store and you and somebody's standing behind their cart and like you're standing behind them, like maybe you have a basket or whatever, the norm is to give that person some space, right? But some people don't pick up on that and they want to invade your personal space. Now, as a person who needs my personal space, if I could control the part of my brain that was telling me like it's okay, don't worry about it, then maybe I would. Right? Maybe I would, but I can't. Because that's not the social norm that we have been taught. We have not been taught, oh, it's okay to be all up on people. Your brain has watched people stand in line all of your life, trips at the grocery store, in school, on TV. You have been taught how to stand in line. You put your arm, remember when you had to put your arm on your buddy's shoulder and walk in the line? This is teaching this, whether you knew it or not, this was teaching you how to form, how to stand, how to space yourself in line. You did not consciously pick that up. You didn't sit there and say, okay, Mrs. So-and-so is telling me to do this, so this is something I have to remember for the rest of my life. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. If it wasn't for your mirror neurons and the fact that they pick up on emotions, which lends to your whole brain process, the teacher wouldn't have to be happy when they're singing their ABCs. They could just be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you will remember it like that, but that's not how you remember it. You remember A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you remember the happy, the jump. You remember everything about it, which is part of your brain process for how you remember the song. I want to encourage us as parents and even as adults to be careful of what we are letting our children take in and what we are taking in. I'm old enough to remember when Columbine happened. It was 1999. I was in A&P Bio with Coach Kirk, and I loved Coach Kirk. That was like one of my favorite teachers. But every Friday, he wore his orange Tennessee shirt. I'll never forget this Tennessee shirt. Go Vols, okay? So I remember they bought the TV in the classroom. We watched it and everything, and then all the reports after that were blaming it on media. They were blaming it on music. They were blaming it on TV. And of course, you had executives from the media who were saying, "No, that's not true. It can never be." But they know it's true, because if it wasn't true, they would not advertise to us the way that they do. If you didn't think that putting a product in an aspirational image would make me want to buy into your product, they would never do that. I started, and I'm trying to decide if I want to continue. I don't know, it's kind of corny, but I started watching Mad Men, and Mad Men is a show about the beginning of the advertising era back in the 60s. And so in the beginning of the movie, in the beginning of the show, they're trying to figure out how to advertise this new cigarette, because people are starting to discover that cigarettes are bad for them. But before this, they had doctors saying, "Oh yeah, cigarettes are good for you and they're healthy and they help you with this and they help you with that." If the effects of the mirror neurons were not true, then you could get any old body to just say, "Oh yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Yeah, sure. Smoke it up. No problem." Why do I need a doctor to tell you this? Because you have been conditioned and trained that this doctor is someone to look up to respect, and to admire. And so if I want this same respect and admiration, I'm going to behave just like this doctor behaves. You wonder why we have so many problems with our kids. Because every time they turn on a song, the answer to the conflict is pew, pew, bang, bang. Every time they turn on the television, it's screaming, cussing, hollering, calling names. And I understand that reading may be the most boring way to ingest information. But I looked at it, right? Because I'm like, okay, well, what's up with reading the Bible? And it's the same thing. It's the same thing when you read. It's the same thing when you watch TV. It's the same thing when you watch movies. As you are reading stories of other humans, your brain is rehearsing the feeling, rehearsing the emotion. This is why in the Psalms, when we hear David cry out, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," you feel that. You feel that. You may not have been what David went through. You may not have lost a child and had to hide in caves to hide from. You may not have went through all that, but you feel him crying out to the Lord. I'm like a deer that's panted by the water. My soul thirsts for you. You feel this. And so the pathways of your brain do not change based on the information that you are taking in. Okay. The same way that you can read, I'm trying to think of like a really, okay, the same way that you can read about Ruth, right? When she's traveling with Naomi, they're trying to escape the famine, and her and Naomi are going back to Judah from Moab, and Ruth is like, "I'm not leaving you. I'm never leaving you. I'm gonna stay with you." You feel that because you know how it feels to love someone. You know what loyalty feels like. So you begin your brain is rehearsing these feelings. Why? I don't know, but it's like super cool because you can put yourself in the person's situation. I don't believe in fact, I'm sure that this was not meant to be perverted the way that it is right now. We were never intended to look up to sin. Okay? It was never intended for the lowest variable behavior among us to be elevated as if this is a top choice. Okay. There is a time when sex workers were shamed and prostitutes were looked down upon. But now we live in a day and time where sex work is aspirational. You got girls and guys who feel like, I don't need to learn how to read and write as long as I know how to pop it. Faith without works is dead. Applies to you praying about your mood, your attitude, your mood swings. I can't figure it out why. And doing the work of removing the things that you are ingesting that are affecting you negatively. Now, let me say this, ladies. If you are dealing with mood swings, emotional instability, you just feel like things is going crazy in there, please go to a doctor first. I am not a person that would put a spiritual band-aid over a physical ailment. Okay. And what I mean by that is, yes, sometimes you are just in a funk. Sometimes you are just in a mood. Sometimes you do need to pray. Sometimes you just need to read your Bible. Sometimes you just need to get away. Sometimes you just need to relax. Yes. But sometimes you need some help. Sometimes you need to talk to someone. Um, Sometimes you may need some medication. You may. And that is okay. Okay. And so the first step to solving anything is to find out exactly what's going on. So if you can get to a doctor, get your blood work done, make sure all your vitamins are where they're supposed to be. If you know you got some hormone issues, figure that out and decide how you're going to deal with it. Okay. And then once you've figured that out, okay, now let's look at the other aspects of my life. Am I constantly ingesting Real Housewives drama? And so I walk around thinking that, everything is tea and who gonna check me, boo? And can't nobody say nothing to me? And am I constantly exposing myself to porn? And I hesitate to say it because almost everything is porn these days. Um, it's hard to watch a lot of shows and it does not turn into a romp fest, right? It's ridiculous. I don't need all that. Just a hint is fine. I don't need all that. Um, but even with that, if the sex on TV is making you feel feelings that you should not be feeling, are you going to risk being tempted to fornicate to watch your favorite TV show? I'm not saying you can't ever. And we go through seasons, sis. This just may not be the season for you. You might be ovulating this week. And that's why you don't understand what I'm saying. That's why it might be bothering you a little bit. Okay, put it down and walk away. It's not worth it. I got myself in a lot of trouble looking around at what other people had and deciding that I wanted to chase what I thought was happiness because it was wrapped in 7 for all mankind jeans. So I'm not telling you, once again, I'm not telling you anything that I haven't lived through myself. When you have a light about you, people will come around and feel the need to compete with you, and you're not sure why. You're like, and you may even feel like you're in a worse situation than them. Their car might be better than yours. Their house might be bigger than yours. Their hair might have cost more. Like you may feel like they're in a better natural position than they are. But they are jealous of something in you that you cannot see. Get away from those people. You're not going to change them. That jealousy is something that they need to pray about. And they need to deal. There's nothing that you're going to do. You can pray for them from a distance. But I've learned the hard way. Continuing to try to be a friend to someone who is in an envious or jealous state of you, it's only going to lead to more problems. You don't need it. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to be in quiet. There may be some times when you just have to put the media down altogether because it's not getting any better. There is an obsession with torture. There's an obsession with assault. There's an obsession with death. There's an obsession with murder. If you know you have problems with anger, stop watching other angry people on television. It is only feeding the problem that you have with your anger. If you know you watching a show and all of a sudden you tempted to run back out in the streets, stop watching that show. We know reality TV is not reality. And I hate that they call it reality TV because it misleads a lot of people. You have to know when you're in a vulnerable emotional state. You have to know. You have to know when you're going through something. And you have to be willing to check yourself. I had to check myself about the rage bait that I was ingesting. And I wasn't purposely ingesting it, right? But like I would see a story on Facebook that had something to do with Black people in a political arena or something like that. And I would click on it. And now the next thing I know, my timeline is filled with these same kind of stories. I don't go looking for videos of Black people being unalived. I don't go looking for that. I don't want to see anybody being shot. I don't go looking for it. Somehow it shows up on my timeline. And if I, as a 44-year-old woman, cannot control being exposed, if I, as a 44-year-old woman, cannot control being exposed to snuff films, what do you think is happening with our children? If I can't control it. And I know what you're saying, like, well, don't go looking for it. I don't go looking for it. It shows up. And so if I'm constantly having to see images of a life being taken, I'm also constantly seeing images of someone taking a life. If I'm in a weakened, emotional, vulnerable state, My brain keeps replaying this as this looks like an answer to my problems. This looks like a way to solve my problems. And I know what you might be thinking. I would never. Do you know how many people right now are sitting in jail waiting on a court date or have already been sentenced saying I would and used to say I would never. I'm gonna tell you right now, there are plenty of things I done when I was running in the street that I used to say I would never. You be saying I would never until you be nevering like nobody never before. It is not a game. It is not a game. Just like the Bible tells us that Satan knows the word and he does tremble. He knows how your brain works as well. The programming, the propaganda, the advertising, the marketing, all that stuff that we have to endure, it's on purpose. It's on purpose. You're not tripping. You're not tripping that listening to Rod Wave might make you sad. You're not tripping that listening to I don't know, Sexy Red make you want to fight. You're not tripping. Your salvation and your soul has to be the priority to you. So if it means you gotta turn the TV off, turn the TV off. Turn the TV off. Paxton and Atticus, ladies and gentlemen. Why are you doing that to your brother? I'm so sorry, y'all. I was not ignoring your comments. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Stop it. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Let's see. Just like they get their pages taken celebrity. What? They get celebrities involved to get black people to vote. Oh yeah, all the time. Hey, sirs, come on now. All the time. Oh, y'all remember when Puffy was, well, P. Diddy, whatever his name was at that time, was going around doing the whole rock the vote thing, and your girl Kamala bought Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion out on stage because they know if I can get these people that you aspire to vote, then you're gonna believe that if you want to have a hot girl summer, you're gonna vote too. Yeah, it's the same thing. They keep pulling the same tricks on us over and over again. Over and over again. Solomon David's that example of being friends with an envious person. Yes, sis. Thank you so much. All right, y'all got anything you guys want to? Come on. Y'all got anything y'all want to add? No.
Finally, to all the kids that have been going to school for this past week. Finally, this horrible weekend is over. Finally, this horrible week is over.
Why has your week been horrible? Why is your week horrible? Because you have to do schoolwork?
Yes.
Paxton.
School is like a prison.
School is, you do school at home. How is it like prison?
Mom, you would know if you did school.
I went to school. When I went to school, Mom, I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
That was really in the 90s.
Yeah, it was the 90s.
No, Derek really have any memories
Atticus.
Of that. She had to walk barefoot. She had to fight wolves.
Atticus, I'm not that old that I don't remember being a kid. There are kids today who get up and go to school. They get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and they brush their teeth and they have to get dressed and they have to hurry up and eat breakfast, and then they got to stand outside and wait for the uncomfortable school bus and be on a crowded school bus. Like, no, boy, you have it easy. You don't live like a prisoner at all.
I have it easy.
You don't live like a prisoner at all. Your life is the furthest thing from a prisoner. Oh, these children. Ow. But still what?
School's boring.
Anyway.
Hey, school's boring. You can't blame me.
You got anything, Paxton, so you stop beating your brother in the head?
I have one thing.
Don't be saying nothing crazy.
No, it's not anything crazy.
Okay, well, go ahead. Talking to
Ow!
All right, bye. Go.
No.
I'll be up there in a little bit. Gone. Y'all too silly.
We're
Go.
Sorry.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
I want to say good night with you.
Good night. Bye. Here you go.
No.
No, because y'all playing too much.
No, Mom, we won't play. I promise.
Send help. Somebody send help.
Mom.
What?
You can't
Huh?
Why do you say send help?
Because I need help. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. I hope something that I said was helpful, whether you're listening live or on the replay. If you're checking out the replay, comment replay. Just a few closing things here. If you like something that was said and you would like to be supportive of our ministry efforts here at the House of Mono, there are a few ways to do that. Okay. You can donate to the Cash App $ the House of Mono. $1 or $2 will do. And we appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you to everyone who does help to support the ministry. We do not take it for granted. Please know that your dollars are going to our ministry efforts. Okay, we are not out here trying to ball out of control off of your offerings. We own our own businesses. We work, so we make the money to sustain our lives. Your ministry donations go toward ministry efforts. Okay. All right. The second way you can support us here is by purchasing my book off of Amazon. It is on Amazon. It will download to your Kindle or the Kindle app on your smartphone. The book is called Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass, 8 Questions to Consider While Waiting. Okay. It's just something I put together for my sisters. It's just sort of a preliminary guide to some thought processes before you start dating, while you're dating, before you start courting, things like that. So again, that is on Amazon.com. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. You could just put that in. The book will pop right up. You can download it on your Kindle, or you can download the Kindle app onto your smartphone. Download the book. It is only $5. Okay. Another way you can support our ministry is by supporting our social media content. You can follow me at Miss Mono's World, or you can follow my husband at Monologue McGad. Our content is advertised on Facebook, Instagram. I am not TikTok. I'm not monetized on TikTok yet. I gotta start going live on there. It's just so tricky. But anyway, yeah. So our content is monetized on Facebook. In fact, if you're listening to me now on Facebook, you can send stars. You can like, you can comment, you can share. Every little bit helps. So again, you don't have to give to us directly, but if you will just support us on these social media platforms, so the social media platforms get the idea that, hey, there are people listening. Let's spread this message. Okay. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. Again, I hope something that I said was helpful, whether you're listening live or on the replay. I will be back here, same black time, same black station next week, Thursday, 8 o'clock. More Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Check me out in these content creator streets: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all the places that content creators be. I love you so much. Shalom, shalom, and good night.
Doing gang things.
Mono.
Living super clean. That it came on.
One time for my king doing king things. On these hoes cause he know he got a good thing.
Tune in to Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass with your host, Miss Mono.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. Live on YouTube at Miss Mono's World and Monologue McGod. Now also available on Messiah TV on Roku and Fire Stick. Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass. Don't miss it, sisters and cousins.